We're visiting with Coach Marty Simmons here in June. Boy, Coach, no off season. It's really been busy. Brought in several new players and had to replace your entire coaching staff. So tell us what you've been doing the last 2 months, which is obvious.
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head, David. Trying to find players that fit what we want to do. I think personally I felt like we made a good step last year. Certainly wish that we would have won more games. Obviously beating Iowa up at Iowa was something that we can all be very proud of. I think when you look back, we had a lot of growth throughout the team. I know academically, in the fall we had a 3.3. I think we were over a 3.0 overall, which was a huge step in the right direction for us. Unfortunately, the transfer portal jumped up and bit us, but it's created a new opportunity to kind of go out and change our philosophy just a little bit, in that we tried to get some older kids. We've gotten a few guys out of the portal. We've gotten some 3-year junior college guys, some guys that maybe went to prep school and then 2 years. We got one prep school kid. So what I would say is probably a more mature, both physically and mentally, basketball team that we're excited to have a chance to start working with.
Were you looking at specific positions to replace the guys that left, or anymore? Is everything so versatile, a little bit like the NBA, doesn't have a post player anymore? Does that transfer to college also?
It does, but I think losing 8 guys, I mean, you pretty much had to recruit every position. I think really the only position that is specific is probably the point guard. I'm an old-fashioned coach, and I like to have 1 or 2 of those guys that have played the position, understand the position. But other than that, I think we've done a pretty good job of being a very versatile team. I mean, that was a highlight of our team last year. We had a lot of guys who could play a lot of different positions, and I think we'll have that same asset again this year. I think athletically we'll be pretty good. I think we got some length. I think we're a physically and probably more mentally tough team, just because of that we are a little bit older. But I think you'll see a lot of guys that can play a lot of different positions. As you said, I think we'll actually have maybe a center that'll be different, that can do kind of what you're talking about, step out and shoot the 3, still physical enough that they can guard big physical guys inside, but can be a bit of a matchup issue, on the other end, on the offensive end. So, it's early, it's new, and there's an excitement, when you bring in new guys, you bring in new coaches, and then when you look down there at the floor, and the floor looks like it's a brand new floor. I mean, our guys, have come in with a great attitude, and we're just anxious to get going.
Where are you on the point guard? You mentioned that of course we lost Rose last year, who was our primary guy when he stayed healthy. Do you feel like you've replaced that, or are you still looking?
Yeah, we have a point guard in Isaiah Griffin. He's a young man from New Jersey. Played at a very, very good, very well-respected prep school. I think they won 30 games this year. Sunrise Christian out in Wichita. Just a confident dude. Loves to play, loves to compete. Fast, quick. I'd say in a lot of ways he's probably got some similarities to Yak. We'd like to sign one more. I'd like to sign, and he'll be a freshman. I'd like to sign maybe another one that has a little more experience, that a little bit older. But we have other guys. Jalen Gibson's a guy that can play the point. They're what we call combos, back to what we were talking about earlier, the versatility. I think Corey Sawyer, he's a transfer from Cloud County. He has the ability to be able to play the point. I like to have that. I mean, you look at last year's team, we had some injuries there, and we were fortunate. Caleb ended up playing it a little bit. So but really Isaiah's the only guy at this time that's played the position full time. I'd like to get a more experienced guy here real soon that's played the position as well.
Are most of these guys here this summer, Coach?
They are. We have 11 scholarship guys here. We got one walk on here. Lucas is here right now, and then we'll have another one here joining the team as well. So I can't thank the 6-man club enough. I mean, this piece right here, what we're dealing with, is huge for all the above reasons. The ability to take a class, get an A in it, really work on getting your GPA up. But with a new staff and now with new players, the camaraderie piece, the teamwork piece, the trust piece, our ability to build these relationships during this next 6 weeks is critical. And it gives us a jump start as when these guys come back in the fall, that part is already there. And then add that, we're going to be teaching, we're going to be instilling parts of our basketball system, both offensively and defensively. But more than anything, just the good feel, guys, playing with each other, learning each other's talents and abilities, going to play golf, playing video games, going to the movies, out to dinner, whatever it may be. But you can't put a price tag on that element when you're trying to build a team, is the ability of these guys really becoming a family and trusting one another and wanting to play for each other.
Yeah, and you mentioned philosophy a little bit of recruiting older guys. Is this a trend across the country? I'm going to speak in general terms now, get a little bit away from Eastern. Because of the transfer portal, are freshmen now not in demand as much as they used to be?
I think if you polled most, they would say that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go there. We had some freshmen get in the portal. I think we just have to keep working on us. We're going to recruit freshmen. That's, and I think as we become more successful, success cures a lot of things, and the retention will be easier. But I think if you look at the nationally and talk to people, they would tell you that. I think for us, it just kind of worked out that way this year. But as we get ready to go on the road, and recruit this weekend, we're going out to see high school kids, and it's kind of twofold in the sense that, hey, you want to find the right guys that fit your program and can make your program better. There's no doubt about it. Your hope is that they stay there for 4 or 5 years. That's going to be tough, to be open and honest. But our ability we want to spread our wings just a little bit wider and see more guys and try to build more relationships with the high school kids. That way, if they do go to places and it doesn't work out, then we've already established a relationship with those guys. So then our ability to know those guys in the portal, have an established relationship, I think gives us a little better chance to maybe get them, out of the portal.
Yeah, you can't burn any bridges when you're out there.
No, and it's just the landscape is ever changing. I maybe some guys haven't figured out. I'm not smart enough yet to do that, but I think it goes back. I told you the academic piece. We got that better, but finding quality men that want an Eastern Illinois University degree, that want to be coached, want to be the best basketball player they can be, and are going to be committed, not only during practice hours, but getting in the gym on their own and working on their craft, and then being out in the community. I want the people in Charleston and surrounding communities, when they see our guys out there, that they there's a good feeling about it. They're great ambassadors, not only for men's basketball, the athletic department, but the entire university. And we're heading in that direction, and we'll get there.
Yeah, this is not a very good segue, but talking about seeing our guys, we also want them to come see our games. Can you talk anything about the schedule at all, or contracts far enough along that you can discuss maybe who's coming here or any of the big games we might be?
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about the specifics yet or not, but it's we'll play more home games. We're probably going to play more non-ones this year than we have. That piece, as far as having a balance on your schedule, where you can play home games versus and road games. That's really one way to be able to get the home games. To be honest with you, our road schedule will be pretty impressive. But it was last year too, and I think it's good. The financial piece for the university, and then just our ability to get Eastern Illinois on a national scene. Our guys, they like playing in the State Farm Center at Illinois. They like playing on these, up at Carver Arena in Iowa. So, and you can learn a lot. Whether you win or lose, you can learn. You take a lot from the game and get better. And really, your non-conference schedule, is to prepare you for league play. So you want to be able to play some teams that are probably going to be a little tough to beat. Then you really want to play some teams that are kind of like you. You know what I mean? That you go, and then you really want to play some teams that you should beat. You know what I mean? Because there is a philosophy to putting together a non-conference schedule and having some confidence with the wins, along with learning from your losses. I mean, there's a piece there, and I think we have a good balance with that this year, and we're looking forward to it.
Let's talk about the coaches you've had replaced. Literally the whole staff. Your longtime buddy Doug Knopsick, of course, retired. Are we there? Are you finished with that, or are you still looking?
Today I think we finished it up today here. We got a guy I think over in the president's office filling his paperwork out right now. Number one with Doug. I mean, Doug's been my best friend. I'll probably start crying here like a little baby, but he means a lot to me. He's been we've been probably like co-head coaches here. He just his heart and soul is all about the young men that he gets to coach, and he had been away from his family for several years, and felt like this was a good time to go home. And but I can't say enough great things about him and for what he did for me personally, and for our players and for our program. He'll be missed. We talk, if not daily, every other day. I mean, he'll be up here a lot. And but as far as the other staff, Marlon London is a guy that we've hired. He was on the staff at Illinois Chicago last year in a support staff role. Neat guy. Played at Kansas for Roy Williams, and then finished up at DePaul. So he's got that background, but just got a great personality, very well networked in the Chicago. I mean, just passionate about teaching the game and helping young people be successful, not just on the floor, but as human beings. So super excited there. Brett Poots came from Indiana State, but his background, he's coached the national championship team at Des Moines area community college. Just a grinder, hard worker, great basketball knowledge. I feel really, really fortunate to be able to get somebody with his pedigree on our staff. I mean, he's sat in the chair, he's made the decisions, and quite honestly, made them quite well. Aren't very many coaches can say you got a national championship coach on your bench. And then our last coach here, Kylan Butler, is a young man. He's from Danville, Illinois. I worked with him for 2 years at Clemson. He was a GA at Clemson. He's just a salt of the earth person, number one. I compare him all the time to Tony Dungy. Like, he's a real positive, real faithful guy. Loves young people. Just has a zest for life. When he left Clemson, I think he was at Cal State Fullerton briefly, and then was on the staff at Grand Canyon with Bryce Drew. They were an NCAA tournament team last year, and then most recently he was at Valpo with Roger Powell just briefly. But he brings, for me, security. We've worked together. I know Kylan. He's a loyal guy. I know our players will love him. So just feel really fortunate to be able to put these guys together.
Good. Yeah, sounds very positive. Last question. When you become king for a day, what do you do to, I won't say clean up, we'll say clear up the portal and the NIL, which essentially, pay to play? What would you do if you had one day to make all those changes? Because by golly, everybody's talking about this. In fact, I even saw the other day Nick Saban's leading a crew to Congress to try to get it under control. Do you want the government in control of this, or are you going to be able to do it?
I think we just got to work our way through it, Dave. I mean, this is the landscape. When you talk to people, it's going to be a while before anything gets done. So again, the recruiting piece, just trying to make some adjustments. We're going to recruit more high school guys to establish those relationships. We're doing things as a department to enhance the NIL stuff. They have something called Alston money that we've played an extra guarantee game this year with the hopes of being able to use those funds for our student athletes. I want our guys to know that we're trying to do things for them as well. But it's a learning process. I think when the NIL was set up, it was for your players to really find avenues on their own to really, bring out the name, image, and likeness. Unfortunately, with the landscape, I'd say, we're not supposed to say pay for play, but for a lot of the Power Fives, it certainly visually looks like it. So finding ways maybe with how this was supposed to be for our players, where maybe they can take advantage of their name, image, and likeness, and just be more educated with it. These are the things that I think we have to do to be successful. You can't ignore it. It's here, and I don't think it's going away. So, and we have a great commitment for our administration, from the department, from our boosters. They understand that. That's one of the things that I'll never shy away from, is I really value what Eastern Illinois basketball means, not only to the university, the community, but to our alumni. Our former players, former coaches. It's strong, and we have to continue to work. It's not just practicing every day. That's not. There's a lot of other things, and we have a tremendous support system that helps us, attack these challenges.
So in relation to that, and I said the last question, but that led to one more. Are you running into the NIL at our level with other schools recruiting? And I hate to use the word paying, but let's face it, that's what it is. So
yeah, we are. We're not Illinois or Kansas with it, but yeah, we are. And I think when you look at the guys that we lost in the portal and some of the schools that they went to, it all factors in. But it's not, it's not at the level that I think it will become. And I think that's why if we can continue to develop this and make this a positive, it can be an advantage for us, maybe as we move forward.
Yeah. Coach, thanks for the visit. We'll catch up here in a couple of months, maybe as we get closer to school, talk specifics about some of the guys and see how the summer went. Hope you can catch your breath and relax a little bit.
Thank you very much, David.